Hello and welcome to Suffolk U News, the weekly news program brought to you by the Department of Communication and Journalism here at Suffolk University. I'm Casey Hall.
And I'm Lauren Barabee. They say the weather is unpredictable here in New England, but today's forecast could be one for the record books. Shauna, it looks like a beautiful day out there. Is this going to last into the week, or is this just a sneak peek of spring?
It is beautiful out right now, Lauren, but more on that later. However, it doesn't matter whether or not you're going abroad or anywhere else during spring break. You might have some beautiful weather coming right up in the next 5-day forecast.
Hello, I'm Casey Hall.
And I'm Lauren Barabee.
Nancy Reagan, wife of former and late President Ronald Reagan, passed away this past Sunday at 94 years old of congestive heart failure. Politicians from all positions are mourning the death of the former First Lady, including President Obama and presidential Republican candidates Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio. Nancy Reagan was known as an advocate for Alzheimer's patients and patient treatment.
A dean at Harvard Law School is prompting the university to do away with their shield. The infamous logo was modeled after a slave owner who donated land to Harvard and contains 3 bundles of wheat. This movement to change the shield comes after portraits of black faculty were defaced at the school, and the committee has sent recommendations to the Harvard Corporation, who will make the final decision.
We are in the midst of a very competitive primary for both the Republicans and Democrats.
After an intense Super Tuesday last week, SU News reporter Katie Martineau went to find out how college students feel about the results.
Thanks, Casey and Lauren. Super Tuesday gave us a good idea about which candidates will be representing their parties come November. However, these results have millennials talking.
Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump keep on winning, and Super Tuesday results have millennials worried.
I was a little surprised, to be honest. I think that both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump did much better than I think a lot of people anticipated. I think there was obviously the expectation that they would do pretty well on Super Tuesday.
It seemed like that was going to be the turnout, or the turnout of the Super Tuesday results. I'm kind of disappointed in Massachusetts specifically because we've had low turnout for our voting. But I also was really disappointed because I did not think there were that many Trump supporters in Massachusetts.
I love Massachusetts. Why do they always say that a Republican can't win Massachusetts? I think we can.
Collecting 384 delegate votes on Super Tuesday, Trump is emerging as the favorite for the Republican Party. Clinton currently holds 1,130 delegate votes, leaving millennials concerned about the election.
As much as I dislike Hillary, I dislike Trump even more. So even if it does come down to Hillary versus Trump, as much as I don't want either of them to win, I'm all aboard the Bernie Sanders hype train. I will still go out and vote for Hillary.
Clinton and Trump may have won Super Tuesday, but after Sanders and Cruz picked up important wins in the March 5th primaries, this race is showing it's far from over.
The people who know me best, the people who knew me before I was elected, who knew me as mayor, knew me as congressman, and know me as senator, have voted so strongly to put us in the White House. Thank you so much.
Last night in the primaries, Trump picked up wins in Mississippi, Michigan, and Hawaii, adding to his momentum. Clinton and Sanders both split the wins, with Clinton winning Mississippi and Sanders winning Michigan. Reporting for SU News, I'm Katie Martineau. Back to you, Casey and Lauren.
Thank you, Katie. Lauren, a crazy election so far. Very surprised about how Trump is doing, and Bernie with a very huge win last night.
Yeah, a lot of people are really feeling the burn.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. You know, Florida will be a big state very soon this week.
Absolutely. Once again, Massachusetts gas prices dropped for the 12th consecutive week. AAA Northeast reported that self-serve regular is selling for $1.68 in the state. That's 68 cents lower than the state's average this time last year. But as the weather warms up, it could mean a spike in prices once again. Last week, the Boston Police Department welcomed a new safety measure that conducts fingerprint screenings on city cab drivers. A minor crime won't stop someone from driving a cab, but it will help police screen out sex offenders, people who have committed violence, or applicants with dangerous driving records. I spoke to Suffolk students to see how they're affected by the new safety measure for cabs. Bostonians are on the move, and now the Boston Police Department is taking new safety measures to keep cab riders safe on the go. The Boston Police Department announced that it has begun fingerprinting all of the licensed cab drivers in the city to conduct thorough background checks as a way to increase passenger safety. Cab drivers will be required to submit a fingerprint as part of the annual license renewal process. The additional safety measure has some Suffolk students feeling better about taking a ride.
I'd probably feel more safe in a cab if they were getting fingerprinted and Ubers were not.
I would be more likely to take a cab now because it's been more thorough. They've done more thorough checks.
But for others, it doesn't make a difference.
I feel equally as safe in an Uber or a taxi. It doesn't matter to me, as long as I get to where I'm going.
It doesn't really cross my mind as much as maybe some other people.
The issue of fingerprinting has caused a debate over how to regulate competitor ride services like Uber and Lyft. Massachusetts lawmakers proposed a bill on Friday that would impose new regulations on ride services, but does not require them to conduct fingerprint checks because they already conduct 2 third-party background checks. The proposal also does not require ride service companies to be covered by year-round, around-the-clock commercial insurance. The spokesman for the Ride Save Massachusetts Coalition, Scott Solambrino, said in a statement, "We're very disappointed that the bill does not include any of the key provisions that we believe are necessary to ensure passenger safety."
A controversial project in one of Boston's neighborhoods has residents taken to the streets. SU reporter Jeanette Oriel has more on what has the community so upset. Jeanette?
The construction of a high-pressure pipeline has riled up residents and community leaders. A community is opposed to plans of a 5-mile-long natural gas pipeline. The pipeline will run through a densely populated neighborhood, and residents are not happy about it.
This quiet Boston neighborhood has been invaded, but residents are speaking up. Since September 2014, West Roxbury residents have been actively fighting against the construction of a high-pressure lateral pipeline that would transport fracked gas from Pennsylvania through Boston.
How is it possible in a democracy that this could happen? That the residents are having their own community put at risk?
Spectra Energy will be able to build the pipeline by the approval of the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, or FERC. FERC is an independent government agency responsible for regulating the interstate transmission of natural gas, oil, and electricity.
Everybody's opposed to this pipeline. The City of Boston, our City Council, Mayor Marty Walsh, the state representatives, and our U.S. Congressional Representative Stephen Lynch.
Despite Boston's opposition for an entire year, construction began on the pipeline September 2015. One of the residents' many concerns is the proposed location of a metering and regulating station set to be built across from this quarry, where workers use dynamite to blast rocks regularly.
The mayor has intimated at times that there would be some communication so that the community could find out, well, what does a metering regulating station look like? There has been no follow-up on that.
If this pipeline were to explode, it would decimate an area as large as 30 city blocks, and we would burn. Our homes would burn, our neighborhoods would burn.
The high-pressure gas will be traveling through the pipeline at 750 pounds per square inch. That's 100 times more pressure than a normal pipeline that runs into your home.
We don't want anything like this in our city. No one should want anything like this in our city. We don't need it. We don't want it. We want to shut it down.
For SU News, I'm Jeanette Oriel.
Now, this is a partial map, but the proposed path of the pipeline runs past hundreds of homes and in West Roxbury alone past 3 schools. A metering and regulating station is set to be built right on this site. With gas leaks already occurring in the city's existing pipes and the new pipeline being built so close to an active blast zone, residents are worried gas leaks from a high-pressure pipeline will cause massive explosions as they have in other cities across the country. Casey and Lauren, back to you.
Thank you, Jeanette. Every college student has their difficulties paying for school.
Coming up, we have more on many issues students are facing with debt after diploma.
check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Got it. No.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early. You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self. And I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
Welcome back. I'm Lauren Barabee.
And I'm Casey Hall. Tragedy has struck again for a survivor of the 2013 Boston Marathon bombing. Victoria McGrath, a student at Northeastern University, was killed in a car crash in Dubai. McGrath and another student, Priscilla Perez Torres, were in the crash. Both women were members of the class of 2016. McGrath was close to the two explosions at the marathon and took shrapnel to her leg. Our thoughts and prayers go to the families in this difficult time.
Aside from canceling late-night service on March 18th, the MBTA fare hikes have riders riled up. Despite protests, the MBTA has voted to raise fares once again. Proposed increases ranged from 5% to 10%, but officials concluded a fare hike of 9.2%. Riders can expect to pay $84.50 for the monthly passes, and that's a $9 difference from the previous $73. The new fares will take effect July 1st.
We are fast approaching graduation. Students across the country all looking forward to the next chapter. Some students have a price to pay. Suffolk University reporter Aubrey Dunham has more on what students are worried about.
College kids are thrilled to graduate. That is until they cross the stage and the clock starts ticking. Graduates are given a 6-month grace period before their payments towards student debt is expected. Lenny Rowe will be one of the many contributors to the $1.2 trillion national student debt. Will you still have outstanding debt after the aid that they've given you?
Absolutely. I mean, I've also worked 3 jobs during my time here at Suffolk, so they've also raised tuition on me thinking that I've made more money when it was just to try to cover the loans and the debt that I know I'm going to be in.
Like many young adults, Lenny's dreams following graduation have been traded for a more realistic goal.
Honestly, I'm going to move back home with my mom as soon as I graduate. It's just, you know, it's tough to even take out a loan when I'm already in debt.
Most university students receive financial aid in order to make their education a possibility. Do you receive financial aid to come to Suffolk University?
I do. Yeah, we do.
Much like Lenny, most students, both freshmen and seniors alike, have been forced to reevaluate their post-graduation plans.
We've been working and kind of balancing work and school.
As of right now, if I apply to the 5-year master's program, I may be able to graduate and have a master's degree, but if I graduate with a bachelor's from Suffolk, I'll be in debt and I definitely won't be able to go to graduate school. So it's definitely going to affect me.
As if finding a job following graduation is not stressful enough, the only pressure only increases knowing loan payments are due in just a short period of time.
It's that time of year again, springing forward, that is. This Sunday, March 13th, daylight savings time will be in effect at 2 a.m. While we'll be enjoying an extra hour of sunlight, we'll also be losing an hour of sleep, so you might need a few alarms to help get you out of bed in the morning. We all get excited when Grandma and Grandpa slips us a little extra spending money, but the government wants to help senior citizens keep more of their tax money in their pocket.
Also, SU weather reporter Shauna Newcomb will be back with her 5-day forecast.
was at Sea Race. Love is love.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary. Smokey. Only you can prevent wildfires.
I'm Lauren Barabee.
And I'm Casey Hall. It is a scorcher out there. Shauna Newcomb, can you tell us what's going on with this crazy spring weather at the end of the winter?
It is very crazy, but more on that in a little while. Right now, let's take a look at the nation's weather. Currently, the only part of the country that's experiencing typical weather for this time of the year is the northern states, specifically around the Great Lakes region, places like Michigan and Minnesota. Even as you come out more towards the west, hit California, they too are experiencing higher temperatures than normal, but not as high as the southern states such as Texas. Not only are they experiencing severe heat, they're also experiencing severe thunder and lightning storms. So, if you're heading towards Texas, make sure to bring your Thunder Buddy. Now, this heat wave down here in Texas is slowly moving its way up to Boston. Let's take a look at our part of the neighborhood. So right now, currently 52, 53 degrees. It gets warmer as you come out to the Midwest of the country, of the state. Now let's take a look and see where that rain is going to be here on Thursday. So right now, like we've all said, it's beautiful outside. A lot of people have opted out of even wearing their jackets. But tomorrow, you can still keep your jacket off. It's going to be about 61 degrees, but bring an umbrella. It's going to rain. It's not going to last long, though. On Friday, it's back to weather similar like today. Sunday, pretty much the same as that, but the day before, Saturday, make sure to bring out those sunglasses. It's going to be beautiful out. That's all for the weather. Back to you, Casey and Lauren.
Thank you, Shauna. The 2015 tax season is among us, and some communities are keeping an extra eye out for senior citizens. Reporter Shauna Newcomb went to the town of Weymouth to see how the government is giving back.
Pay less taxes.
And boy, did he learn some tips at an Elders Tax Break seminar. Tax breaks for those living on a fixed income could mean a whole lot, depending on whether or not you qualify, that is.
You have somebody who wants to pay my taxes. I was trying to save some money. Now I got to pay the whole thing.
But who's the driving force behind these services? The town of Weymouth State Representative James Murphy.
Of course, it's tax time, and there are programs that people don't even know about for which they may be eligible for tax credits for the 2015 tax year. So Brian Lynch from DOR came down and talked about a tax credit up to $1,000 for people who are 65 and over who may qualify.
Elderly members arrived extra early to the senior center to get a front row seat of the action. Even the Department of Revenue stopped by to share some helpful tips that could save the elderly some money. And now the word is really starting to get out.
I'm absolutely happy with the turnout today. You know, we can have classes from 8 to 300. It's a great opportunity for them to get out and just to socialize.
People are busy, but it's always hard to get people in a room with people's lives. Everybody's so hectic running around. But today was a big turnout for an important day.
This helpful seminar wasn't the first, and it definitely won't be the last to come.
The program didn't just end today, so it's not about just having the presentation and then saying goodbye to people. It's about giving people our phone number and some resources to read about. And when they have questions, they can call us.
Great effort there by government officials in the Department of Revenue to really try to help the elderly save some money. If you have any questions, feel free to contact them at mass.gov/DOR.
It was time once again for Suffolk's own Dancing with the Stars. Find out who has the best dance moves when we return.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
I'm Lauren Barabee.
And I'm Casey Hall. Police are examining a knife that was reportedly found at O.J. Simpson's estate. The LAPD said they received a knife within the last month, and it was reported to be found by a construction worker in the 90s. In 1994, Simpson was acquitted of killing his ex-wife, Nicole Brown, and her friend, Ronald Goldman. The case has been brought back into the spotlight since the debut of the FX series American Crime Story, The People of O.J. Simpson, last month. The knife is going to be tested for hair and blood, but the LAPD said that it could be weeks, if not months, before we get those results.
You now have a chance to be in Mark Wahlberg's upcoming film. Patriots Day is holding an open casting call for extras this Sunday, March 13th in Allston. The movie is based on the 2013 Boston Marathon bombings and will focus on former Boston Police Commissioner Ed Davis in the citywide manhunt to find the bombers. The casting will be looking for general extras, police officers, doctors, and marathon runners. Those who are interested and are 18 and older are encouraged to attend with a photo of themselves in hand.
Over 200 people gathered at the C. Walsh Theater Thursday, March 3rd to watch the annual event Dancing with the Stars. The event, hosted by Suffolk University's Journey Leadership Program, had 20 students and faculty members participate in the event. And you won't believe who was one of the dancers. Suffolk University's President Margaret McKenna showed off her excellent dance moves and tore up the dance floor while the audience filled the room with cheers and claps. We even saw some familiar faces from Studio 73. The event was a great success, and the winners will be donating their prize to a charity of their choosing. Lauren, I don't know if you made it to the event, but there were some amazing dancers there. It was a great job by everybody overall.
We really saw some moves out there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Shout out to Brian, the TD in there. Great footwork, great moves.
Absolutely. Uber is helping to replace the late-night weekend subway service by offering a temporary $5 flat rate for rides. The service, only offered for Uber Pool, would run from 12:30 a.m. to 2 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday mornings. The only catch is that rides must be between subway stations on the same line, mimicking a T-ride. The $5 service will be offered from March 19th until April 9th.
One of the best quarterbacks of all time is calling it quits. We'll have more after this break.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Got it.
But getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self. And I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary. Smokey. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back. I'm Lauren Barabee.
And I'm Casey Hall. One of the greatest quarterbacks of all time has announced his retirement. On Monday, Peyton Manning, the two-time Super Bowl champion and five-time NFL MVP, said goodbye at a press conference in Denver. The 18-year NFL quarterback holds many records, including most career passing yards and most career passing touchdowns. As New Englanders, we've seen some amazing games played by Manning and Brady. In the press conference, Manning said, "I'll even miss the Patriots fans in Foxborough, and they should miss me because they sure did get a lot of wins out of me." Brady leads these games 11-6 in the win column.
As the weather gets warmer, we can say goodbye to gloves and scarves and hello to baseball caps. Suffolk men's baseball and women's softball teams will be traveling to Florida over spring break next week. The women's softball team will be participating in the Gene Cusick Collegiate Classic, and the baseball team will play in the Roosmat Central Florida Invitational. The first official games of the season will start Tuesday, March 22nd for the men against MIT and March 24th at Curry College for the women.
The Celtics wear green all year round, but even the Boston Bruins are getting in the St. Patrick's Day spirit. The Bruins Pro Shop has released its St. Patrick's Day jersey featuring a green tartan plaid design. The jerseys retail for about $150 and can be purchased at the local Pro Shop, at the TD Garden, or online at bostonproshop.com.
Boston's annual St. Patrick's Day parade will follow a shortened route this year. The decision was made by Mayor Marty Walsh after consulting with Commissioner Evans, who said the shortened route is in the best interest of public safety while balancing the historic tradition of the St. Patrick's Day parade. The parade will be cut from 3.2 miles to 1.4 miles, but it'll be on the same route and will take place on Sunday, March 20th.
That's all we have for today's newscast. As always, thank you for joining us here at Studio 73. I'm Casey Hall.
And I'm Lauren Barabee. But before we leave you, we're going to take another look at the Dancing with the Stars behind-the-scenes footage.
Enjoy.